It's country music star Brad Paisley. His new song is called Same Here. It features, as you saw, the Ukrainian President Zelenskyy. Paisley says his song, shows the similarities between the U.S. and the people of Ukraine, part of an upcoming album that highlights the importance of freedom. Release comes at a crucial time. A growing number of Americans now say they feel we're giving too much to Ukraine. Given $114 billion since the war started more than a month ago, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was in Kyiv today, just announced another $1 billion. With us now, Brad Paisley, three-time Grammy Award-winning country music artist. Brad, it's great to see you. You and I talked, the first time I interviewed you, 2008 or 9 in Denver, we talked about how country music tells the ballad of life. Freedom is not just an American concept, it's a universal hope of all of us, right?
I would think. I mean, I know that's how I feel, and it's probably how you feel. And I set out with this song and with this album I've done to sort of examine the human condition a little bit. And country music's really good at telling true stories and putting into words, I think, things that most of us feel and being an outlet for that. And this song actually came about because I had written about some things that after the invasion last year, I felt like I wanted to say, which was that when you boil it down to the things we want, there are so many similarities in us. And yeah, that's the point here is that one of my favorite lines of the song has to do with football teams. You know, it's kind of my Ted Lasso verse. It's the idea that we all have a football team that lets us down every year, unless you're an Alabama fan. You're pretty much usually,
well, that's why I'm a Nick Saban fan. I don't ever have to be disappointed. I wanted to get to this because you think about typical country music fans. I'm a huge one, but they typically skew more conservative. They're from the heartland in America where there are certain values. That's the very same group of people who is now becoming even more skeptical, right, of giving aid to Ukraine. $114 billion. We could give every public school teacher in the United States an $8,000 raise, pay off more than 2.6 million student loans, nearly pay off the amount required to repair all of the nation's bridges, build more than 22,000 miles of rail track, house every homeless person in the United States, pay off more than half of what Americans collectively owe in medical expenses. How do you convince your listeners and your fans that we are better off spending that money in Ukraine than we are here at home?
You know, as far as that goes, I'm not an expert on the government spending. My song is personally, my royalties on this are going to go to rebuild housing for folks that have lost everything in this war. And, you know, when it comes to the debate of what our government should be doing, I've got some good friends. I've got a good friend who's a congressman named Dan Crenshaw, who you know.
Sure.
He does great dissertations on why this is a good investment, but that is not up to me in the government.
All right.
All I can do is what I'm doing, which is trying to raise awareness that this is a humanitarian crisis. These people have lost their way of life. Yeah. And they're fighting to have our way of life. And I think we should care.
There's no question we should care. The song lays that out of this idea of freedom and how rare it is, how important it is, how much it means, and how much we need to support it. I wonder, when you talk to President Zelenskyy, you're a country music star. He's the president of a country under siege right now and under the thumb of the Russian army. Any surprises from your time with him, and as you wrote this song, what you learned?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think you get a sense for someone like you and I are getting a sense for each other right now in a way that we didn't when we talked on the phone last week. It is when you're looking at somebody and talking to them, you get a sense of them. And I was struck by humility as much as anything. It was a really sincere and heartfelt conversation. And in that sense, for me, trying to help and allow our two nations to see our similarities is something that I felt like was too good of an opportunity to pass up. It's something that, yes, it's risky to do a song where I'm not just singing about something that we can all agree on necessarily. But I think the things I say in the song, my point is these should be things we agree on. Yeah. I really care about the fact that there are people who want to be free and they're not, or they're fighting for that. And but for the grace of God, go us, really.
You said humility. The few times that I've had the privilege of interviewing you, that's the first word that comes to mind. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.